Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SHW F1 podcast. We are here to discuss the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm Tom Delicati, here with John White and Brady King. We are your underinformed American buddies, talking about some F1 this weekend. We're recording on a Monday, Labor Day.
It's a little weird,
here in
right?
the United States. Yeah, we typically don't do this on a Monday morning, but since we're all off work today, we got a special treat for you, and we're going to try and knock this episode out and get it published if I can find the time to do so. We've got a fair amount of items to discuss today. Not a lot, not a little, but a fair amount.
The needle's in
a
the
medium
yellow.
amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There will be some healthy debate around the Rookie Dudie, which, you know what, we're going to start with the Rookie Dudie, but before we can do any of that, a tradition unlike any other. It's our 15-second race reviews. And for those of you who remember, we do this in descending order. Or no, ascending.
Ascending?
Ascending order, yes.
I believe it's just sending order.
Yeah.
Not sure
Thank you.
which.
Whatever number way you want to look at the numbers. Just not 2, 1, 3.
So we do this in the order in which our standings are with our points picks for the season. Brady, you are at 90 points. I'm at 92, and John's at 101. He has cracked the 100-point barrier.
Oh yeah, baby!
Congrats.
Thank you.
I guess.
So a quick note here: Brady and I did not do very well with our top 5 and our bottom 5.
No.
We each got 2 out of 10 picks correct.
Oof.
Whereas
Crazy
John
race.
got 4 out of 10.
I do what I can.
The silver lining for you and I, Brady, is that we each got our 3-pointers. My 3-pointer was that we were going to have a double points finish from a bottom 5 constructor. Brady, yours was no double podium for McLaren, which was on thin ice for a while, but
Yep.
thanks to Mercedes, actually, and their power unit, you got your 3-pointer.
I wrote Toto a thank you note.
That's very kind of you.
He's going to get it, look at it, and go, what is this?
Let's not dox his address here on the podcast.
Right.
John, you said pole position will be P3 or lower by the end of lap 1, and Oscar got pole. Oscar hung on. Oscar led every lap. So
He did.
bummer.
Yeah, he
for
should get
you.
negative points for this, right? Isn't that how it
I
works?
don't think
I'm
that's how
interested
that
in
works.
discussing this. Yes.
No, I'm not.
So we're going to go in order here. Brady, you're going to start us off with your 15-second race review.
All right. Yesterday was the Dutch Grand Prix, but I want to focus on 2 of our drivers as they got ready to release their debut duet album. They were very thrifty and decided to get their album cover done as they stood by the side of the road. Of course, I'm talking about Lando and Leclerc and their album, Can I Borrow a Feeling?
Well, we know Leclerc can play piano.
Yeah, right?
This will be a very nice duet album. I don't know if Lando can sing.
I think he can just DJ, which is a nice little mashup.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm going to go next. I'm going to use my 15 seconds as an ode to Haas. They started P18 and in the pit lane and eventually got double points this weekend. And did you know it has been 217 races since all top 3 constructors only had 1 driver in the points? Actually, I don't know. I didn't even take the time to look it up, so that's a false statistic.
Just the kind of groundbreaking research you expect from us.
We would have no way of verifying that information anyway.
Right.
All right, John, last up.
Zandvoort, where you really haven't experienced all the circuit has to offer until you've sat in the world-famous sand dunes while watching the rest of the grid drive by. You've heard of Monaco without walls, but this is Monaco without water. So grab your hiking boots and a bottle of water, because it's going to be a long weekend.
So we wanted to start with the Rookie Dudie, I guess, this week. And if we're truly going by the definition of who was trying to be a dude this weekend,
Yeah.
I think we have a heated debate. Now,
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I think that Mr. Antonelli deserves a shout here just for trying to do everything he possibly could to take out Ferrari.
Success, fair enough.
He was trying to be a dude.
He was trying to
be the dude.
Yeah.
I also think Liam requires a little bit of a shout here, but we'll get into the penalty with Carlos later. But I just wanted to be a little controversial and give those shouts to and Behrman for finishing P6.
How
That's
about
what it's gotta
14
be, right?
spots? 14 spots.
So that's what it's got to be. It's got to be down to Isaac for just putting it on podium, right? I mean, you're a rookie, put it on the podium. That's like by definition, you were the dude.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes in the same week that Ollie's like, yeah, I'm going to start from the pits. I'll get in the top. Well, where did he finish? I'm sorry.
He finished sixth thanks to
Sixth,
Antonelli's
right,
penalties.
Yeah, okay. Which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. I did my 3-pointer or not, my 15-second race review as an ode to Haas because they got both cars into the points from P18 in the pit lane. They just did the one stop. They did the normal one stop, and everybody else did 4 stops during safety cars. So Haas has a slow car, but they scored 10 points this weekend or whatever it was, maybe even more than that.
Haas might be slow, but they're faster than other cars in the pit lane. So we'll be okay.
Right.
You just
I do want to give a shout to Liam for when they pulled him into the pits and was like, yeah, we don't have any other tires, so you get softs and you got to go 40 laps. So good luck.
You'll figure it out, buddy. It'll be fine.
They just turn the radio off. He's just complaining. What's going on, huh? I can't hear you. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. We'll get into it in a minute. I loved the chaos of this whole race. It was boring, but then it was very chaotic. So our rookie duty, we have to cast votes.
Yeah.
John, who's your vote for rookie duty?
I think just pure podium, it's got to be Isaac.
Brady?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Isaac.
Well, let's make it a clean sweep, unanimous vote. He even broke his trophy. That's total.
That was
dude.
kind of funny.
That's total, dude. So
right in half.
Mr. HADJAR, congratulations on your SHW rookie duty for this weekend at the Dutch Grand Prix. Now, as we move on to the chaos of this weekend, what's the most important thing that you want to talk about?
Oh, let me start. I want to talk about Carlos and Liam because I am flabbergasted as to how the penalty goes to Carlos. Can anybody explain it to me? I cannot. I've looked at this video a couple of times. I do not understand how you can point to Carlos as being in the wrong, and he gets a 10-second penalty on the same level as, and we'll get to him later, Kimi knocking Leclerc out by just driving into the side of him. I don't understand how that can happen.
Yes, I would agree with you. I think it was really funny when Carlos was told he had a penalty. He's like, wait, who got a penalty?
Who? You're joking, right?
Me?
Who got a penalty?
Yeah.
How could I have gotten a penalty? I agree with you. I think it was absolutely ridiculous. They interviewed Vowles later in the race. I think it was at the very last safety car. And he was talking about how that was his immediate thought. This is a racing incident. And we should have just let it go. It was a racing incident. Nobody deserved a penalty. And I would have been on board with that. I don't think necessarily that Liam deserved a penalty or Carlos, but a 10-second, that was the piece that just really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I saw it happen, then the penalty, and then everyone was just pretty much confused. What I thought was really interesting was immediately Carlos is like, we're going to see the stewards after this. Like, you hear him over the radio, like, we're going to see them. And they were like, yeah, we don't really have time for you today, so you're not going to come see us after the race. Like,
they already had an appointment to see Lewis about his yellow flag incident after the race.
Right.
They were all booked up.
Sorry. It was the, you know how like sometimes in the business office, they'll have like a conference room and it'll have the little slider across the door. It says available
Occupied.
or in use.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was in use. And I'm sorry. He sat out there for like 20 minutes and they eventually just decided, oh, there must be a back door where they all just snuck out. I can't see him anymore.
Well, and they seem to be just handing out a ton of penalties. Like Lewis got one as well. Carlos gets them. Like everybody's just getting penalties. Kimi, like everybody gets one today.
Tom,
Yeah.
do you remember Scott Pilgrim Saves the World? And when he
Vaguely.
jumps out of the window, when the girl shows up and knocks on the door and he doesn't want to talk to Knives, and he's just like, in the background, Scott just jumps out of the window. That's what I see the stewards doing. Like, they knock on the door and they're just like, whoop, right out the window.
it leaves a body shaped
Yeah,
arms
little
out,
smoke. Yeah.
body shaped hole in the wall.
All you hear is the Yahoo!
Yep, exactly.
Ugh.
All
right, sorry.
No, that's fine. I think there was a lot of contact in this race. There was a lot of cars coming together. It started with Bortoletto, somebody reporting, hey, check Bortoletto's front wing. It's flapping a lot. And sure enough, we see that it had debris left on the track. We get the VSC that Marshall goes and takes that piece off the track.
Shout out to the Marshals, by the way.
To tumultuous applause.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Liam and Carlos coming together, which I didn't see how it happened, but somebody drove back to the pit lane with no wheel.
That was Liam.
That
was Liam lost his left rear wheel in that whole exchange.
Where did it go?
That's a good question because I don't think they showed it on the broadcast. It
flew into the sand dunes, just impaled in the side of it.
That's where Carlos was. That's where Charles was sitting later.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Ooh, a wheel. I'll sit here."
I feel like, and was it Liam's car that was also on fire as it came back because the floor was scraping so bad?
No, that was Kimmy.
Or was that Kimmy?
That was Kimmy's car that was on fire, and they're like, "Well, hopefully the fire will get put out now that there's some air to it," and then they just let him drive off, and we're like, "That's a pretty big hope." Like, what if it doesn't?
See, we have all of these incidents, and we can't even remember what happened in terms of who hit who came back to the pit lane. I know Carlos, when he came back, he had to get a new front wing. Liam had no tire on the back of his car, and Kimmy's car was on fire.
Yeah, by lap,
just a lot
60,
that happened.
I was expecting someone to go, and parrots' heads are falling off. Like, everything was happening.
We got no food. We got no jobs. Yeah. I feel really bad for Leclerc because he didn't do anything wrong. He just got knocked out, and I also feel a tiny bit bad for Lewis, but it's not about how it happened, but both Ferraris are out of this race. And I think that's what I feel most bad for. It's not about the individual drivers or the incidents. I felt bad that both Ferraris got out of this race.
No, I agree with you 100%. Watching both Ferraris getting knocked out to me is the constructor's equivalent of Lando getting knocked out towards the end of the race, because you've got these fights happening on the constructor and on the driver's side championship, and then just something like this happens and you're like, well, there goes a weekend of no points for anyone. Like, everyone else is getting points except for us.
We've talked about it. Well, Alpine didn't score any points, because they're Alpine.
They don't count.
And I don't think Sauber scored any points this weekend either. Even after we praised them last week about how,
they did not. That car looked rough this weekend.
It did. But back to Ferrari. I think of it in terms of the championship itself. And we've talked about them on and off throughout this season about how they just have two very reliable drivers who are consistently scoring points, whereas Mercedes has one, Red Bull has one. And then this weekend, just it feels like it opened the door for others to kind of make a run, even though, Red Bull scored 20 points this weekend. And I know they're not close in terms of the championship, but Red Bull scored 20 points this weekend to Ferrari's 0. And Mercedes got 12. Is that right?
Do you think we caused this?
Yeah, which is the exact gap between Mercedes and Ferrari right now. 12 points.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll continue this conversation on the other side. I do feel pretty gutted for Lando. I don't think he would have beaten Oscar. I think he did everything right except not get pole. He had a very, very good weekend except for 12 100ths of a second or 12 1,000ths of a second, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But as soon as Oscar had pole, as soon as Oscar controlled that race at turn 1, I thought, unless there's rain, unless something happens, unless Oscar makes a mistake, he's just going to go to the end and win it. And sure enough, that's what happened. So either way, Lando still would have had a more of a mountain to climb. He would have been, I think, 16 points behind Oscar, but now he's 34. And that is a huge,
It's a lot.
huge gap at this point. And especially with how close they are and how reliable the cars are. I know we just had a reliability issue, and Lando was unfortunately on the wrong side of that. But that's the world we live in, that these two drivers are so incredibly close talent-wise. The car is reliable, and it's unlikely that one of them will have that mechanical failure that completely takes him out. There's a potential for a collision that DNFs someone, but Lando's got 2 DNFs on the year and Oscar's got none. And there's your gap.
Yeah, it's also like Lando still got a shot here, but Lando, so you have to qualify ahead of Oscar. You've got to be out in clean air. And you can't screw up your start, which he traditionally does. So, I'm not saying he cannot qualify him.
I thought he had a great start.
He did.
No, he dropped behind Max by turn 1.
But Max is on.
It wasn't because of his
too.
start. That was because of Oscar covering him off.
Yeah, that's true.
But also because I think Max was on softs to start that race, so that helps him out
yes.
quite a bit. But I mean, so in general, with those cars though, whoever's in front in clean air is going to have an easier time. They're also going to get the tire preference, and can he out-qualify Oscar? Yeah, sure, he absolutely can. But can he do that and keep first place in his start? And to me, that seems to be the difference. Because once Oscar gets out in clean air, he's going to win.
If Oscar is on pole, there's a 99% chance that he's going to win that race, all things being equal. If fair. Lando was on pole, he has a 50% chance of keeping that P1 position after lap 1. That's the biggest difference between those two.
These are John's statistics here, but I believe in them.
Would you like to hear a very interesting bit of trivia for the race that took place?
Of course.
That I think is interesting?
Yes.
20 drivers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say.
Every driver. Yep, 20, exactly. Every single driver on the grid changed positions except for one. Oscar Piastri was the only one to not gain or lose a position, and every other driver from P2 to 20. Which I keep track of this for all of the races, and about half the races, there'll be 5 to 6 drivers that where they start is where they finish. Like a third of the grid, almost every single time, has no movement.
That's funny, because if you asked me that, I don't think this is good trivia, because if you asked me, I would assume that the numbers say statistically you've got to move a position. But
most of the time, about a third of the grid doesn't move. And from P7 head, so Stroll, 12 positions gained, Behrman 14, Albon 10. That's massive.
Stroll was all over that scoreboard, by the way, right? All the way down to the bottom, all the way back up to the top. Wrecked his car twice.
Wrecked the car twice. I am coming around on Stroll this season. I know we hate on him, and I've talked about this before in previous episodes, and I don't like the guy. He's Canadian, which is close enough to French for me. And his dad owns the team. But he has had a few races this season that prove he actually kind of deserves to be out there.
Ooh.
These are
I don't know. That feels like fighting words. Yeah.
I'm just let the data speak for itself. Outside of causing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of damage to his
I feel like he is trying to be the dude every week.
He's giving it a go.
It is, yeah. He's doing his best.
That's just like your opinion, man. And then he goes out there and wrecks the car.
He started 19th.
It's just I don't know, your opinion, man. Oh gosh.
I don't know. Yeah. I'm just Alonso started P10, he started P19, and he finished P7 and passed his teammate.
I don't know how. I mean, I know how it came down to the tire strategy and everything, but like when I saw him back up there, how did you do that? How did you
Sneaky.
put the car into the wall the way he did in, what was it, FP2 or whatever, where he didn't even look like he knew how to drive. He just was like, oh, there's a wall here. Boom. Like he forgot to turn the car, and yet somehow seventh in a Grand Prix. I don't get it.
Can you stay out in these conditions? Yeah, I got it.
Always a dude.
Always.
Oh my gosh. We touched on the championship battle in the constructors and the drivers. Do you think that we're going to see, like, I feel like they talked about afterwards that Lando was seemingly just more chill, more relaxed about like, okay, the pressure's off right now. Are you buying into that?
He did seem awfully calm about the car blowing up. Like more so than I would think usually, like than normal. And I don't know if that's just like why.
You want to know why?
Was it a
I'll
point
tell
of
you.
zen? Yeah.
No.
Did you just realize he can't win?
I think that's what it is. I think he realizes that all things being equal, he cannot beat Oscar. And he thought that this was going to be his year. And when you're out of a race due to something outside of your control, in this situation, I think he's probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief, because when he does not win the championship this year, he can look back and go, well, look, I had 2 DNFs, I had engine problems, I got knocked out of a race here, we had a tire issue here. Like, he can point to all things that aren't Oscar is a better driver than I am. It was things outside of my control.
That's tough, man. I mean, it's,
so you think
I don't disagree though.
You think we're excusing this? Or he is?
I think he's leaning on whatever he can to build a case that, I could have won, but look at all the things that happened to me.
I do kind of feel like he just in general has that personality of like, I'm trying my best, but and I really want to win, but in the end there were some mitigating factors, and like he's
timid.
I think he explains it to himself in a way that it's like, yeah, things didn't go my way, I made some mistakes. And
it's tough to play armchair like psychologist, because I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't sit down and talk to him. I don't know what he's like. The whatever number of hours a week that I'm not watching him do a little bit of racing, so it's not fair to judge him. That being said, I'm doing a podcast,
but we're doing
here we
it.
are. Yeah, we're doing it.
But we're going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. 100%.
I will say that his mentality seems to have changed over the last few weeks, and I would say that it is maybe just the realization starting to kick in of this is slipping away, and either I'm going to explain it away or I have to be okay with this. And I don't know which one it really is, or maybe a combination of the two.
Yeah.
But he seems to be more like resided to the fact that like this is happening.
I agree.
Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I was
he was looking to say something. He was just like, I got nothing else. So
I was waiting for you to come to Lando's defense, but it didn't happen.
No, I find it very difficult. Just like Brady was saying, it's tough to kind of get inside his head. So with what he gives me, I do kind of feel like maybe it softens the blow. There's no doubt he's disappointed. There's no doubt he's pretty devastated. And that they were talking even in that moment when he said, "Yeah, the car's dead. I can't bring it back. I'm done. I'm out." His engineer's on the radio with him saying like, "Man, you were really fast today. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, doesn't matter."
That's, hold on. That's something that's really interesting, because the fact that the engineer said that right off the bat tells me that like he realizes that Oscar's going through it and that he needed to give him something to sort of boost his spirits. Because it just felt out of place. I usually don't feel like, I mean, you hear those kind of messages like, hey, you did really good when they get to the end, but he was quick on that gun. As soon as Lando said I'm out, he was like, hey, you're really fast today. Like he was ready with that.
And I don't say all of these things about Lando to say he doesn't care. The sitting on the side of the hill where he was probably crying there for a minute, like, I'm not saying he doesn't care about winning. He definitely wants to win. I just, to y'all's point, I think he's slowly realizing this is not going to be my year, and I've got to deal with that now.
Yeah,
which sucks because he's really good.
What about Leclerc? I mean, we've seen him do this a few times. I mean, he can be kind of emotional, but he sat there for an awful long time, like a good 15 minutes, 20
I think
minutes.
part of
or
it was he
whatever
couldn't get picked up. They couldn't get. To
I mean,
him.
I mean that's fair.
logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah. How does it feel? I mean, like, okay, so you're racing for Ferrari, which is awesome, and you're one of only a couple people in the world that ever gets to do that. So you've already won at life. Like, it's not you don't really have to compete with anybody else. But you are one of the fastest drivers, like, just on raw pace, and we just can't put it together. Like, Ferrari just can't get out of their own way.
Yeah.
And then this one isn't even Ferrari's fault. This was just Leroy Jenkins into the side.
I found it interesting, and I don't know if you caught it, but when Bernie Collins stepped in for her assessment of his radio message, when she said,
"Right, I forgot about this." Yeah.
Yeah, he was bummed, and he was kind of giving that. You felt like it was kind of that solace thing, like, you know, the tires were really good. I think it was unnecessary. You kind of put that together as like he's saying that the dive bomb was unnecessary. I felt good. The car felt good. But when Bernie comes on and says, actually, he's probably talking about the decision to pit.
Yeah.
Which put him in the situation to be fighting with Kimi.
Yeah.
And he was saying basically, like, I don't understand why we pitted. The tires felt good. I felt fast. You put me in this situation.
You put me in
It was unnecessary to put me in this situation.
Yeah,
and
that's
I thought
fair.
that was extremely insightful, because as the casual viewer, you're just like, yeah, it was unnecessary by that guy over there. When in actuality, he's talking to his own strategy team. And I thought that was very insightful.
Which seems to be an ongoing conversation every weekend between those two drivers and the strategy team. Like, for how long and how many years are we going to talk about Ferrari being in their own way?
Yeah.
217 races.
Yep.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Just every time Lewis is like, why did you do this to me? Okay, copy. Just over and over and over again.
I never thought I'd feel bad for Ferrari, but I do.
Maybe we should just pool our money and buy one to help support their cause.
Yeah, let's do
Buy
it.
a Ferrari?
Yeah.
A race car or just a Ferrari?
You have me interested.
You heard it here first, folks. SAW buying a minor stake in Ferrari.
We're gonna go. I'll make an appointment. I'll go to the bank tomorrow and I'll say, hey, we got this podcast. I'd like to borrow some money because we're gonna buy a Ferrari race car, and let's just see what they say.
Yeah.
I'll report back to you.
Let us
John,
know.
I want to know what
work
our
in banking.
business strategy is.
This is
and then
true.
we're gonna say something
This
about
is true. Just approved. My pen authority
Pull some
says
strings,
approved.
buddy. Yeah. A small business loan. $5 million.
That's right. We can do it.
Oh, so we got Monza this coming weekend, which I'm excited about because it's Monza, right? And as we're talking about Ferrari, do you have any sort of expectations for them to do well here? I mean, they wound up, was it last year they wound up with a double podium? Why did my voice get so high?
They did. The last time that they both DNF'd, they came back with a double podium. And it was in Monza. Which has a lot to do with my 3-pointer this week, just to throw that carrot out there.
Hey-o.
Well, I don't want to get ahead of it, but we do remember that Hamilton is going into this with a grid penalty.
Indeed.
Yeah.
10
And
places?
that's what, five
Five
places.
Don't care.
for speeding.
Speeding
in the pit lane?
No, it was ignoring a
not
double
lifting.
double flag.
Yeah, it was not
yellow.
lifting under caution during the prep lap before the formation
right.
lap.
Someone else was speeding in the pit lane. Was it Lawson?
Kimmy.
No, that was Kimi. Kimi got first he wrecked Leclerc, then he sped in the pit lane. So, full on dude this week.
Spud.
He spud. He spud in the
Spud in the pit lane. Can't spud in the pit lane.
So let's just roll into it and make our picks for Monza. So, John, kick us off.
My 3-pointer is going to be Ferrari double podium.
Ooh. You teased it,
Whoa.
and I kind of saw it coming.
I don't even Grid penalty be damned.
I was going to say, you can have this.
Okay.
Yes, this is completely fair for you to take.
All right.
I, on the other hand, am going to go with the opposite end of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say Alpine score points this weekend.
Alpine score points.
Is that aggressive enough or no?
Can you be more specific with Alpine score points? That means that like one driver needs to score more than 1 point, and that's points or both drivers.
Colapinto scores 1 or more points this weekend.
That I'll let you have.
That is aggressive.
Have fun with it.
Aggressive. Yeah.
Have a good time.
And then Brady, what's your 3-pointer?
Submitted for your approval.
Uh-oh.
Top 7 for Albon.
Coming off of a P5, you're going to say Albon top 7.
Going back, though, it was like 7th and 18th. Then there was once where he was like 8th. Then he triple DNF'd.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So we've been a little all over the place. But I want to have the Go Williams week. I need a Williams week.
He's ranked 8th right now. So, like, theoretically speaking, that's one average position jump from where he's currently ranked in the driver's standings.
Not finish position, but yes, standings.
Standings, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll let you have it because you're in 3rd.
Thanks.
I don't want to let him have it. He's only 2 points away from me. This could be the difference maker.
I mean, the best part. So I was saying this weekend to Cheryl.
If you said Carlos P7 or better, I would give it.
Oh, that's not happening. Yeah, there's no way. But
poor Carlos.
When I got my 3-pointer, and Cheryl was like, "Well, then Tom also got his 3-pointer," and we were like, "Wait, so it doesn't really matter if I leapfrog Tom, even if that happened, because this is like Talladega Nights, right? If you ain't first, you're last. Like this don't matter."
That's right. But let's be fair about my 3-pointer from last week.
Mm-hmm.
2 teams from the bottom 5 constructors got double points this week.
Yeah, which means that we shouldn't let you have that. Just that much more.
You did theoretically say 1 team.
I said a team. I didn't say 1. I said a
team. Well, there were 2 teams.
Yeah,
there were
but a team still did it.
All right, that's true.
All right, focus.
An A team and a B team. Brady, fine. I don't want to argue. Right. You can take it. This is annoying.
Okay.
All right, we're done for the week. We'll talk to y'all next week. Thank you very much for listening. We love you all. Good night.
Good night.
Good afternoon.
Morning.